The 10 greatest NBA Big Threes of all time. So with all the news about Kevin Durant joining the Warriors and all the talk about super teams in the NBA, I decided to make this video discussing what I thought the greatest Big Threes of all time were. Now, there are a few rules to this list, so let's get it started. Number 1. All 3 players must have played at least 3 seasons with each other. Number 2. This list was made in July 2016. In other words, don't expect the Cleveland Cavaliers to be on this list or the Golden State Warriors to be on this list. Maybe I'll make this video again in a few years and we'll see some new Big Threes like Durant, Clay, and Curry, or Kyrie, LeBron, and Love. We'll see, but yeah, don't expect those teams to be on this list quite yet. Number 3. There are obviously different eras in this list. So when you talk about teams that have won championships in the 60s versus teams that didn't win championships in the 90s, the Big Threes may have actually been better, but they didn't end up winning a championship. So I based off who I thought would win if they played off against each other. Here are some honorable mentions. The Warriors with Marlon Hardaway and Richmond. Run TMC only lasted 2 seasons together, so they couldn't have made the list anyway. The 76ers with Dr. J, Moses Malone, and Andrew Toney. The Suns with Nash, Amari, and Sean Marion. The Kings with Weber, Bibby, and Peja Stojakovic. The Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. I mean, that's a big 2. They'd probably be on this list if there was another player that they could play with, but like I said, this isn't a big 2, it's a big 3. So they were definitely one of the greatest duos, but there wasn't really a third player to join them to be able to make it on the list. So let's get it started. Number 10. The Utah Jazz with Karl Malone, John Stockton, and Jeff Hornacek. Malone, Stockton, and Hornacek played together 6 seasons from 1994 to 2000. The duo of Stockton and Malone still form the deadliest pick and roll combination of all time, that we see so many duos try and form a similar 1-2 combination. Stockton is still the all-time leader in assists, and Malone is still in the top 10 in scoring of all time. Malone and Stockton look nothing alike on the outside, but on the inside they might as well have been born from the same womb. They were so on point with each and every play, but it wasn't until Hornacek came to town that they made their first finals appearance. Unfortunately, they were never able to win a championship, but this is easily the most accomplished trio in NBA history to never win a title together. They can thank Michael Jordan for that, as can Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, and the 96 Seattle Supersonics. Number 9, the Detroit Pistons with Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, and Bill Laimbeer. This Big 3 won 2 championships together. They were known as the Bad Boy Pistons for their rough style of play, sandwiched between the Lakers and the Celtics' dominance of the 1980s and the Chicago Bulls' run in the 1990s. The Pistons' 2 titles in 1989 and 90 are often viewed as a transitional period in NBA history, rather than a dynamic championship era in its own right. I put them on the list for the simple fact that they won 2 NBA championships, and obviously that's a great effort considering who they had to play up against. Number 8, the Los Angeles Lakers, with Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Gail Goodrich. This Big 3 played 3 seasons together, including the classic 1971-72 season, where they finished with a 69-13 record, and had a record 33-game win streak en route to Jerry West's one and only NBA championship. West and Gail Goodrich both averaged just under 26 points per game, and that season, West also averaged nearly 10 assists, and an aging Wilt Chamberlain averaged about 15 points and 18 rebounds. Number 7, the Boston Celtics with Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. This is the first Big 3 where the term became popular, and the ridiculous amount of rumors and hypothetical conversations of which players could join forces to form Big 3s really began. In just their first year together, they were able to win the NBA championship in 2008, and almost did it again in 2010 before falling short to Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers. They have 12 All-Star games between the 3 of them during this epic era. They also had the benefit of playing with a talented young point guard in Rajon Rondo, so I guess you could say a Big 4? I don't know, that might be a stretch because he was pretty young. Number 6, the Miami Heat, with obviously LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. This Big 3 was the most polarizing, highly scrutinized, and hated threesome of any on this list. They played 4 seasons together from 2010 to 2014, and they made it to the NBA Finals all 4 times. They didn't win all 4 titles, but they did win 2 consecutive championships together. By the numbers, the trio was most dangerous in their first season as LeBron and Wade averaged about 26 points per game. while Chris Bosh averaged about 19. But they really hit their stride in Season 3, where they won 66 games, had a 28-game win streak, and all three became scary efficient. During this time, LeBron won 2 MVPs and was at the apex of his game. This big three went to the All-Star game 9 times together, and probably would have made it up to 20 times together had LeBron not gone back home. I wish this big three would have stuck together. They were extremely fun to watch. Number 5, the Boston Celtics, with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. This big three played at a lengthy 12 seasons together, from 1980 to 1992. They won 3 NBA championships out of the 5 times that made it to the NBA Finals. Much like the Miami Heat, they had a 4-year stretch where they made it to the Finals every year and won 2 NBA championships. They also peaked in their 3rd year of that 4-year stretch and had an incredible 40-1 record at the Boston Garden, en route to an all-time great 1986 championship season. They also won a total of 85 playoff games together, and everyone knows that Larry could shoot, but he was also an underrated defender. McHale had some of the best post-up moves in the game, and Robert Parrish was a solid center locking down the middle. Number 4, the Los Angeles Lakers, with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and James Worthy. They played 7 seasons together from 1982 to 1989. They won 3 NBA championships together and made the NBA Finals 6 times. They also won 78 playoff games together as a collective unit. This was the Showtime Lakers at its best. They made basketball exciting to watch with Magic's passes, Worthy's dunks, and Jabbar's unique skyhook. It would truly be difficult to find a big three that was more unique and more talented than these guys. I mean, maybe if you found Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Oscar Robertson, and Bob Dandridge all in their prime, yeah, that would have been pretty exciting. But unfortunately, when Kareem played with the Big O was at the end of his career. But imagine the Big O and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar together in their prime. Wow, that would be insane. Anyway, let's get on to number 3. Number 3, the Boston Celtics, with Bill Russell, Sam Jones, and John Havlicek. It was extremely hard to choose between Bill Russell's early trio with Cousy and Heinsohn or this one, but I believe that this was the better trio of players. Russell, Cousy, and Heinsohn played 7 years together from 1956 to 1963 and won a total of 6 NBA championships together. But the trio of Russell, Jones, and Hondo won an astonishing 7 NBA championships in 8 seasons together. Remembering though, the NBA only had 8 teams during this era, which is why they weren't number 2 on this list. All these players in Russell, Jones, and Havlicek were first ballot Hall of Famers, and they were also all NBA first team members, so definitely a great big three. Number 2, the San Antonio Spurs, with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. 4 NBA championships together is not a bad effort at all. You could argue that this is the number 1 big three of all time, considering how Manu was the 57th overall pick, and Tony Parker was the 28th overall pick. This trio was never meant to turn out this great. But now that Timmy D is retired, this big three will truly be missed. The big three of Manu, Tim, and Tony Parker have won 4 NBA championships together. The fact that this trio have stayed together for so long is a testament to their character and willingness to sacrifice points and salary. Let's be honest, we will never see another trio stay this long together and win this long together for a very, very long time. Number 1, you guessed it, the Chicago Bulls, with Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and of course, Michael Jordan. This crew was only together for 3 years, but they made every second count. Jordan was the ultimate alpha dog, Pippen was the best sidekick in NBA history, and Rodman was a rebounding machine, great defender, and physical presence who aggravated Karl Malone so much that he got inside his head during the NBA Finals series versus the Utah Jazz, not to mention on multiple occasions. In just their first season together, the Bulls set the NBA mark at the time for the most amount of wins in a season, going 72-10, which obviously was now broken by the Golden State Warriors. But the Chicago Bulls trio won the title all 3 years that they were together. Pretty impressive. Every year Jordan made it to the NBA Finals, he never lost, which is why he's the GOAT. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe. I make a whole bunch of NBA videos just like this one, so yeah, definitely, if you guys like this type of content, definitely hit that subscribe button. And for my current subscribers, I really appreciate all the support that you guys show me every single video, which is awesome. So yeah, really, really appreciate it. If you guys want to leave a like, I'd also appreciate it. It just shares the video around so that more people can see it. And yeah, if you're new, I make a whole bunch of NBA videos as well. And I'll also have some NBA 2K17 videos coming out soon, so look out for that. Let me know what video you want to see next, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.